Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are finally doing the long overdue fall themed build with a little sprinkle of Christmas since it is getting a lot closer to it. This build has been sitting in my drafts for way too long. I was waiting for that October update, which I thought would drop mid-month like the Chahaya update, but then it didn't. So yeah, this one has been pushed back a tiny bit. Speaking of the October update, I wanted to use those Halloween decor items. However, they are locked behind gameplay and there is no cheat code yet, so I decided to skip those so the whole thing is playable for everyone. Because if you've ever downloaded a build and half of it just vanished, you know the pain. This is actually my first apartment renovation in Inzoi and my first build in Dowon. I don't know if that's how you say it, but this is crazy. I've done so many houses, but I've yet to visit this town. So for the apartment, I decided to keep most of the walls the same except for one at the end of the hallway that I swear served no purpose. It was just a blank hole. I don't know why they put it there, but that shit had to go. I also added some early Christmas touches because I didn't want to go just straight from pumpkins to tinsel overnight. The Christmas decor is still fall themed color-wise, so everything should still match. But how about you guys? Do you and your family decorate early or wait till December? Anywho, I started with the living room because if I'm not doing the exterior, that's usually where I begin. I feel like it sets the tone for the rest of the space as it is open concept. I wanted it to still feel cozy but still bright and fresh. So I used mostly white furniture, then added a few brown accents and pops of orange and red and green through decor and plants. It's a very common spot, but I feel like it's more fall themed rather than Halloween themed. So this build can actually last quite a while. And I don't know what it is, but I actually think this might be one of my favorite rooms in the whole build, or even one of my favorite interiors I have done to this date. It's just something I can see many people, including myself, use. Next up is the kitchen. I kept this one very simple, just a few fall themed touches here and there, nothing too crazy. One thing I do love about this kitchen is I found this little apron CC and I had to use it. It was adorable and it fit so perfectly in its space. But if you haven't noticed already, this build does use a lot of CC, so everything I use is saved on my canvas likes if you want to check it out. Moving on to the entryway, which I love so much. It's honestly one of my favorite parts from the original build layout, and just placeholder stuff to drop everything you have. I made sure there's space for shoes, jackets, and of course a big mirror because apparently every build I do now needs a mirror or I physically cannot continue. I don't know what it is. Mirrors just fix every design issue. It's the same with plants. You can definitely liven up the place with those. Anyways, next is the hallways. Since it is such a long one, I really wanted to make it feel a bit more intentional instead of just empty space you walk through. So I decided to add a little statement piece at the end, just a simple countertop with some wall art above it. It kind of draws your eyes towards that and makes the hallway feel more balanced and complete, and definitely more furnished than just leaving it blank. I feel like hallways are one of those things people just skip over, but I think they're secretly what makes a build feel more realistic because you don't just walk down an empty hallway. There's always art, plants, or something to fill in the space, which makes the build just flow a lot better. On another note, I don't know if y'all keep up with Inzoi updates, but apparently they are adding free cam to the camera mode, so I wonder what that's like. Hopefully I can do stop motion builds because I always love those. I don't know what it is about them, but they always look so pleasing to the eye. After that, we move into the master bedroom closet. I use some CC IKEA shelving and a modded clothing set, which is now linked directly on Canvas, so you can just click it instead of chasing down 10 different links like before. Absolute game changer. I definitely will be using those from now on. But I do think you have to download those before you put them in your world, otherwise they will just delete. It's actually crazy how much easier CC builds have gotten to share now. I don't know about you, But before I was getting maybe 5cc in before Canvas could let me upload them. But now I can add a ton more, which is really nice. Not too sure if it's Inzoi who fixed the performance as well, or if it's just CC creators just using less high poly meshes. But my game has definitely felt a lot smoother and definitely better than ever. I honestly have been really loving renovating this. It's so much fun. I usually build bigger houses, which means, unfortunately, I have to end up furnishing a ton of space afterwards, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm way better at exteriors than interiors. Like with that Mediterranean build I did, I have still yet to furnish that. I am totally burnt out on that build, but one day I definitely hope I can furnish that for you guys. I do feel there are two types of builders: the ones who love building the shell and the ones who love decorating. I'm definitely the first one, but I've been trying to push myself to get better with interiors little by little with each new build. Which one are you guys? I'm definitely curious about that. Moving on, since it's Halloween, or it was Halloween when I recorded this, I really wanted to add something a little grungy or maybe perhaps a bit emo. I don't know what you call it, but I imagine it belonging to a daughter who's really into witchy stuff. So while the rest of the house is pretty neutral and cozy color palette, this one is totally different. It's got its own personality and I think really brings that character to life. And does anyone else end up accidentally making backstories for their Sims while building? Like, I'll decorate a kitchen and suddenly the mom's a baker, or I'm building a guy's room and suddenly he plays a bunch of sports or is into music. It's a whole thing. Like, I barely play with those characters, but I somehow find a way to add a backstory to a house that I'm building. Lastly, we have the baby's room, which is super simple. That should be it for this build. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this cozy little photo winner apartment. If you did like it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Maybe subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.